Hello.
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 Let's go!
Hey, kids.
Hey, Dad.
War crimes will be prosecuted.
Does the word duh mean anything to you?
Yeah, I chose this profession, so therefore I earned beer.
You want to go to the matinee?
The feeling is definitely there.
You don't know my name!
It's a new morning in America.
This is the old dude, Howard J. Reynolds. Step into my office.
Not going to be too many punks.
Now would you stop worrying about the punk?
You, that's my name.
Yeah, let's go to the punk rock show.
Introducing, for your listening pleasure,
Here it is. Here we go. Episode 80 of the High Fives podcast. It's the halfway there episode. We only play songs right off the top when we have a guest. So if you've been paying attention, you've probably guessed by now we have a guest, and it's Christine Arturio from the band Save Ends and Little Low. And that was the song Mr. C's Amazing Trip.
You did it.
Chris, I did it. I said the things.
Yes.
There was a lot of memorization involved for the people that weren't privy to the first 5 minutes of this recording. But here we are. Christine, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. And Michael's here too. Michael, how are you?
I'm doing fine.
We didn't leave him out.
I'm pretty stoked to have Christine on. I'm a big fan of her band, and she's a super nice person. So,
Thanks.
Well, I'll verify whether you're nice or not by the end of the podcast.
Yeah,
How's that
that's
sound?
fair.
Okay. I can't just go with whatever Mike says.
why would I lie to you? Have I
Mike,
ever steered you wrong?
Many times.
Okay.
Christine, how is your year going? How has 2022 been for a musician?
2022 it's been a lot of ups and downs, but it's starting to feel sometimes like we're getting to do what we love to do. So I moved to California in September of last year and started up Little Low full band out here. I was doing it solo back in Massachusetts, but doing a full band out here now and starting to play shows. We recorded in April. We're starting to get the ball rolling with like releasing and being a real band. And it's crazy. It's like 0 to 100 right now, but yeah, it's good. I feel like starting to feel accomplished again, which is awesome.
Why does someone move across the country in the middle of a pandemic?
I know. Well, the short story is basically I started dating somebody long distance before the pandemic happened. And then, we're doing the long distance thing. It was super fun. And then I came to California in February of 2020, literally as COVID was following us down the coast from Seattle into California. And so when I got back, got sent home from work, and that was it. So couldn't really do long distance anymore. So my partner moved to Massachusetts for a year, and then I moved out here. We're out here for his job for the time being. So it was a lot and really stressful, but yeah. And, part of like my whole life is like having a music scene and having a music community. So thank God we're starting to be able to build something up again out here because I was kind of lost without it.
Is it weird? Like, I'm assuming you're well versed in the music scene in your own town and area. And then to go, like, I don't know how it is but the East Coast in Canada is very different than the West here. Mm-hmm. So like the West is very isolated to itself. So I'm assuming the same out there. Like, is it weird to have to start over again, making connections, or did you have some from touring and stuff like that?
I mean, I definitely have some like friends and know some people from like just kind of all over the place that have been doing music. And I feel like there's some people out here actually, like, for example, Chris, who is playing bass in Little Low, I knew from their old band Jabber, which is a California band, but they played in Boston in like 2018. And I knew Chris from like previous, because they were in bands in Jersey too. So I ended up having like, there's enough connections to start to feel like I'm not just like a island floating off with no one. So yeah. And yeah, starting to do shows and like get to know people and stuff, which is good. I think it helps that like nobody did anything for the last couple years, so everybody's relearning. So I can kind of sneak in and be like, "Oh yeah, hi."
That's kind of a positive look on things.
Mm-hmm.
Is it a way different scene? Like just the vibe of the scene going from Massachusetts to California?
Yeah, I mean the Boston scene is really small, just because Boston's way smaller, and then Boston's a big like college town. So a lot of the music scene is built up of really young kids and then some of us old mainstays being around. But I feel like California is it's more diverse. It's more like evened out. Like you got the like all age ranges. Starting to see like lots of like people that share band members and stuff like that. So like in a way it's similar, but it's just way bigger. There's a lot more people to meet out here.
Was Little Low kind of the pandemic project? Did that start before, or did it get more serious, like when you had more time, when no one was able to play shows or book shows or do any of the regular things we used to do?
Well, so another thing is I put out a Little Low acoustic EP in February of 2020. I was just really cursed in that month, just making life decisions and having them not work out. So I put that out, and then the pandemic happened, and I was pretty bummed because I really wanted to try to do some like solo touring just because I wanted to stay active while Save Ends was like slowing down a little bit. And then when like the pandemic happened, I just started writing more and more songs and then started messing around with like the drums and stuff in GarageBand and then adding more layers. And then they just started becoming full band songs instead of acoustic songs. And I was pumped to like get a band behind it when we got out here. So yeah, kind of morphed naturally, which is cool.
I mean, I imagine it's a lot different going from like a full band to playing just acoustic, you know, you yourself on, I guess you weren't on stage, but I mean, I'm sure that that's a much different way of writing and a much different, you know, sense of vulnerability behind that too.
Yeah. And, you know, previously with Save Ends, it was shared vocal duties, so therefore shared lyric writing. And now Little Low, I'm really taking all of that, like doing all the lyric writing alone. And it's fun, but it's scary. And I have to like, you know, self-edit a lot. And like, I can't just like pass it off to someone else and be like, here's my general idea. Instead, I got to keep working on it all the time. But it's kind of good. It's like, it's freeing and cool and it's just different, but it's a good thing.
So Save Ends being on the other side of the country, Little Low being on the side of the country you're currently in, how does that all work?
Well, Save Ends is, we just hadn't really been like working on anything seriously for a while. So, but during the pandemic, we got asked to do a 7-inch series for a friend's 20th anniversary of their record label. So we got to go there and like wrote a song for that and did a cover. The split is with No Trigger, which it came out so cool. I'm like excited about it. And then Save Ends is playing at Fest this year in October. So I think we're just like doing what we can and while not being like as active as we used to be.
Yeah.
So it's kind of okay that I moved, sort of. I'm definitely going to have to go home in like August or September to get a couple Fest practices in, but I think we can handle it.
Like, are you all still pretty connected?
Oh, yeah. We text about Star Trek Next Generation pretty consistently, so that will never die.
The new Next Generation?
Hell
Is there
no.
Oh, this is like 90s Next Generation.
Captain Picard.
What could you possibly have to talk about with that show at this point?
There's so many good memes. It's just
the
I
memes.
love it. Yep.
The memes bring everything back.
Exactly.
Excellent. Well, Christine, we've told you how it goes. We're looking for top 5 albums of the year so far. Why don't you start us out with telling us about one of those 5 top albums of 2022?
Cool. Okay, so my first pick is Big Nothing Dog Hours. I don't know exactly when it came out of this year, but it's a little bit newer. And it kind of strays from their last album was, I want to say, like in a more poppy, punkier vein. And then this one is more like alt country, but it just feels like this beautiful summer album that I want to listen to while I drive around and like look at pretty like sunsets or something.
Well, you're in California now, so I'm sure there's lots of pretty sunsets.
There's so much sun. It's wild.
Do they get gross after a while?
What?
The sunsets, the pretty
God,
sunsets.
No.
Dude, I'm craving sunsets so bad. It's just been rain and clouds.
And what was the song that you picked from the Big Nothing record?
So I picked the song called Still Sorta Healing. It's one that Liz sings. I think that anytime they really feature her voice is great. I love everything the band does, but I really like this song. I like the sentiment behind it. It's kind of about moving on and trying to heal, but like not being quite there yet, but doing your best.
So very much a song for 2022.
Yeah.
Pushing out of the pandemic.
Yep.
I'm going to go next because that's how we do it. I go before you, Mike.
That's fine.
Always. My pick is Prince Daddy and the Hyena. It's their self-titled record. This album is, in a nutshell, just bizarre, but like in such a good way. Have you heard it?
Not yet.
Okay. Do you follow this band? Do you know this band?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is my first exposure to this band. I'd never heard of them before, but this is their third release, I think. My first exposure to them, though. I honestly, I don't think I've ever heard anything quite like this. Not to say that it's like completely groundbreaking or earth shattering, but it's different.
Yeah.
And that's kind of a lot of what I'm looking for. Like these days, something different, something that breaks away from the mold. I think what I like about it most is that there's just really like nothing predictable with this record. Like from the title track that has like this total Queen Beach Boys vibe to it, to like, you know, the aggressive kind of sound in A Random Exercise of Impermanence, to the almost 9-minute song Black Mold, that kind of feels incredibly personal and littered with like these phone message recordings from what I would imagine is a friend. You just kind of get lost in that song. Like there are very few songs that are 9 minutes in length that I would ever like not click past, let alone like click again. So yeah, just a really eclectic, diverse album. It's conceptually about the meaning of death. So the singer songwriter Corey Gregory kind of developed this severe fear of dying, which stemmed from a near-death experience that their band had, which landed him in a psychiatric hospital for about a month, like while he was writing this record. So there's a lot of layers to this record. It's got notes of indie rock, alternative, emo, and punk, and all kind of packaged in this like theatrical package. It's a very different record. Every time I listen to it, there's just like kind of more that you end up pulling back from the layers. So there's my pick in no particular order for the albums of 2022 so far. Michael?
All right. Well, mine's going to sound super out of place now, but like,
is it the Chipmunks?
Yeah. You guys don't listen to Chipmunks?
My favorite's Alvin.
Yeah. I'm a Simon kind of guy. The band I picked was Sweat, and the album's Gotta Give It Up.
Nice.
I think I mentioned this on the podcast before, but I felt like there was something a little bit special about this album, and that it didn't feel like a standard hardcore album. Like sometimes hardcore, and not to say anything bad about it, but sometimes the albums get bland really quickly. Like on a song by song basis, they're awesome, but like if you're listening to the full album, it's like, okay, that's the same sort of sound.
It just kind of hits one note and keeps going through.
Yeah, like
is
not
that what you mean?
Yeah, not in a bad way. Like sometimes that's great, but for some reason this one didn't feel that way. Like it feels like there's a lot of influences, and they kind of run the gamut. Like there's some 70s metal in there. Like there's some Thin Lizzy breakdowns, and like I like the vocals, and the artwork on the album is really cool. So yeah, the album doesn't sound like one giant hardcore song, and it just feels like an album. Every time I listen to it, it gets stronger and more appealing. And I think that was out on Pirate Press, which is put out a Territories album from here. So I like to support good labels like that. And the song is Machismo.
I picked a Big Nothing song from their new album Dog Hours, and the song is called Still Sorta Healing.
Prince Daddy and the Hyena, self-titled record, A Random Exercise in Impermanence, The Collector. And
Sweat. The album's Gotta Give It Up, and the song is Machismo.
That night lasts forever.
Christine, what is your number 2 pick?
My number 2 pick is by a band called The Legs from Philadelphia. It's not an album, but it's an EP called Here's to Feeling Good All the Time. Can't go wrong with a Seinfeld reference.
That's where it's from.
Yeah.
I knew I'd heard that somewhere.
But they put out another EP in 2020, and I just had it on like repeat constantly, so I was super excited they put new music out. The singer, Kirk, used to be in a band called Majo Lee from Philly, who Save Ends used to play with all the time. They're just awesome. So I'm pumped that he's doing music again. And actually, I think that this is a bi-coastal band. I think that it's Kirk and then like a songwriting partner that lives like somewhere out on the West Coast. So it's possible. It can be done.
Do they have that Philly sound?
Yeah, for sure. It kind of sounds like Piebald to me. Like the singing sounds like Piebald.
Cool.
But maybe a little bit poppier, I guess. But it's good stuff.
I feel like Philly would have it must have an awesome scene because there's so many awesome bands that come out of there. But at the same time, it must be hard to get shows.
For real. Playing there is hard. Like, just like touring through there and like, because I don't know, the times we like say events played there, it'd be like, oh, well, we have this show at a random bar, but like Cayetano is playing down the street, the Menzingers are playing at this other thing. And you're just like, yeah, okay.
So if you get 5 people out to a show, that's a win.
Yep. Like, well, at least you guys got good vegan food here. We'll do that and be on our way.
And do they all like really support like their hometown bands?
Oh, for sure. I think that it seems like they have a really good and close-knit scene there.
Cool. I've never heard of the Legs. Is that what it was?
Yep.
The Legs?
With 2 L's.
2 L's, not 2 and 2 G's?
No, 1 G.
Oh, wow. That sounds overly confusing for no reason whatsoever. Unnecessarily confusing.
Yeah. Google got confused by it too.
I bet. You know what you should use is Bing.
There you go.
Bing.
I've heard of this Bing.
My second pick is from a band called Anxious. Anyone heard of Anxious?
Yeah, I love them.
Do you?
Yeah. They kept coming out on my Discover or something like that. Really
the Spotify wanted you to listen to it?
Yeah, it did.
Always with the Spotify.
It said to do it, and I did, and I liked it.
I'm new to it in the sense that like I'm constantly having to stream music now because Apple decided to tell me how I have to listen to music. Mm-hmm. By taking away the iPod, by not making anyone be able to fix the iPod.
Right.
Okay, old man yells at cloud.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm going through a crisis right now. It's awful. I hate it. And the other day, like, I really feel like the guy sitting in front of the TV with 2,000 channels. It's like there's nothing on.
Yeah.
There is nothing here for me. Yep. And there is every music album ever written that's at my fingertips, and it's too much.
Choice paralysis.
Yeah, it's too much.
It is. I figured out my solution is like treating it like going to a record store. So like on Friday mornings, I like browse through, but I only look at the cover art, just like I was at a record store, and then just do it that way.
But see, what it even serves up at the record store.
No, you don't follow their rules. You make your own rules, just like
how do you make the rules?
You just like go through things.
You're still following their rules.
No, I'm not following. I don't listen to. I don't.
They lead you to believe that you're not, but you are.
Okay, this is getting too conspiracy ridden.
I had a little project for myself a couple years ago where I had to pick an album, and that was the only thing I was allowed to listen to for that week. But then I would listen to it. I would go read the lyrics. I would read about it. I would try to find podcasts about it. Like basically kind of how it used to be when you'd buy a CD and just stare at the liner notes and learn everything you could. I was like trying to slow down my consumption.
Did it work?
Yeah, it was cool. I feel like I really spent a lot of time going through the Smashing Pumpkins catalog for some reason. I got really into Devo for a little bit there. I was trying to be like the same thing. Like, it was like, there's too much stuff on here. I don't know how to pick. I'm just listening to the same things over and over again. So I like would select a band and then select an album, and then I just would focus on that album for like a week.
That's awesome. I've been trying to figure out a way to recreate that feeling. Like, 'cause you don't ever get that feeling anymore. Like when you'd go to a record store and just pick up an album. Like it's hard to recreate.
Well, and to feel like you discovered something, and then to feel like you want to learn more about it, and you want to learn more who the band is and everything. Probably because it's all just there in our faces at all times.
But this is my closest. This is my new thing is like treating Fridays like I was going record shopping, but just using Apple Music and but not reading about it until I picked up the album and then sampling it and then deciding if I like it or not.
My second pick for the second time is Anxious. Little Greenhouse is the new album, which, going back to the cover art, it reminds me of Mr. Rogers. Like, instantly I thought Mr. Rogers. Anybody else? You think Mr. Rogers?
I didn't think Mr. Rogers. No? Sorry.
All right. Well,
it did look like a children's book or something like that. So I'll give you that. All
right. Children's book. Mr. Rogers, a children's show, Mike. Not quite the same thing, but we're aligning. It's the debut album by this band. It came out in January, I believe. Big step up in production for this record from their EP in 2019. Never Better. Really different sounding albums, actually, altogether. It's got a pretty slick production to it, but there's still a bit of an edge to it. There's definitely an early 2000s influence, but that's kind of like most things these days. Flavors of kind of mid-career Get Up Kids, Jimmy Eat World, Jealous Sound, with some pop punk and alternative vibes kind of sprinkled in there. This band's got two singers, which both kind of lead to the two distinct feelings that run through the album. It kind of starts out with a quieter feel that builds to a more aggressive tone, which definitely pulls from that previous EP, and then kind of back to that reflective, introspective tone. I chose the first song on the album, which is a really good showcase between the two styles, between the two vocalists, and kind of sounds... It's like a preview of the album's journey to come, as it were. So the band is Anxious. The song is Your One-Way Street.
My turn?
It's dead air, Mike. It's dead air.
I thought you were going to be like, Michael, your turn. You could give me a little... Thank you.
Do you see how rigid he is, Christine?
Okay.
Michael?
The band I picked was Dissident. I don't even know if I'm saying it right. Do you guys know how?
That sounds right.
Dissident? Yeah.
Dissident.
Well, I know it's not spell it.
Well, it's spelled like dissident, but it's got an E on the end.
Dissident.
I don't know. The album's The War on Two Fronts.
Are they French? Because I feel like the French put an E at the end of a lot of words.
Well, I thought that, but our Canadian spell check didn't pick it up. So.
Okay. All right.
They're on Bad Time. And I kind of just assumed they were going to be Bad Times like version of the Suicide Machines or Link 80 because they're a ska-core band. But they're way more metal or hardcore than ska-core. And then there's like a lot of elements of thrash and skate punk and with like a little bit of ska reggae tossed in. Pretty political album. They have a couple songs in Russian, which is interesting. And then they do this really like haunting song that's like 7 minutes long at the end about the mass shooting at the Tree of Life synagogue, and it just features the speech or sermon. I'm not sure if it's called a sermon in Judaism. Do you know, Nate? Christine? I'm stuck in the bad Catholic world of not knowing that kind of stuff. Anyway, it's from the rabbi, and it was after the shooting, and he experienced it, and it's just him calling out politicians and the media about gun laws, and it clearly hasn't changed much, but it's a super powerful song, but it's 7 minutes. So I decided to go with the album opener, which is titled 45, and it sort of sets the tone of the album and where it's headed lyrically and musically. So you should check them out if you guys like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, cool.
I can see Nate doesn't want to check it out.
I do want to check it out. I'm going to check it out, Mike.
You're going to be stuck checking it out. It's going to be in the podcast.
Dissident. Is it ska? Is that what you said? It is a ska.
Well, it's like
album?
advertised as a ska core album, but it's I don't know how to describe it. It's a little bit. It's way heavier. I think as soon as there's an upstroke, people are like, "Oh, it's ska core or something," right? So
one upstroke and you get reclassified.
yeah, so
That's all it takes.
and plus it's on bad time, and which is kind of like
it's a slippery slope.
yeah.
It's a slippery slope. You got any upstrokes in any of your new music coming out, Christine?
Absolutely not.
Oh,
That was definitive.
it's aggressive.
No, I
Violent
don't
almost.
hate ska, but I don't know how I do with an upstroke.
You don't hate it,
No.
but you don't like it.
I like it sometimes.
Like it sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
What's a current ska band you're listening to on your Spotify playlist?
None.
Okay.
Unless Spotify opens it for me.
So it doesn't have to, it has to go one step further. It can't just serve it to you.
Right, yeah.
It needs to open it for you as well. Okay.
I picked Left for Dead by the Legs off of their new EP, Here's to Feeling Good All the Time.
Here is to feeling good all the time. Anxious from the album Little Green House, Your One-Way Street. And Michael?
Dissident with 45 off The War of Two Fronts.
I wasn't left behind, I was left for dead. The back door's open, you can come on in. And maybe I'm losing my mind. But trouble's still trouble, even when it's not mine. I'm nodding off in New England on an empty road. I caught a break from the waiting, so I'm told. And woke up in the snow, half-buried headlights. There's no tape, just a storm that didn't sink that night. Let's both admit we're awful and return to regular lives when all was lost. Let's both give in, it's awful, and return to regular time when all was lost. I wasn't left behind, I was left for dead. I'd head north for the border if they'd let me in. All after Except the hornets have arsenals of nuclear weaponry, pestering a sleeping dog. Except the dog believes himself to be heir apparent to God and guards an army. Even not carrying a pigeon, dinner bargain for an olive branch. Whoa, 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 whoa. It was such a tragedy, no one could have predicted this. Except a decade of our ethos, apathy and negligence. History teachers will ask their students how this happened, with their history books painted on cave walls. We're sleeping upon the giants.
Come on, Mike. Come on back. We want you back.
Into what? Into this conversation or the iPad world?
Into the conversation.
I have nothing to say on the matter anymore. Right. It's all been talked about.
I can still buy the records.
Stay positive.
But like the records are taking up too much space.
They're heavy to move.
And they are. They're they're heavy to move just to vacuum, let alone like put in a car and take somewhere. Are you a record shopper, Christine? Do you buy the records?
I tend to buy them like when I'm at shows. I'll buy them from bands.
A souvenir?
Yeah. But I usually, when I go to record stores, I like feel like a tourist because I'm like, I know I'm probably not going to buy anything today.
Right.
But I do like to look at the artwork, see what's out there.
I'm the guy they see coming. They're like, oh, he's here.
He's got his little tote bag.
You're the guy when I work there, I'd be like, I'm going to put this album on because this guy will buy it.
Yeah. I'm that guy.
I'm going to make my quota.
Yeah. How do you feel this year's been so far, Christine? We're only halfway through. I felt like 2021 had a lot of music, and I feel like it was a little bit surprising that there was a lot of music that came out of that year.
Yeah.
This year, it feels like there's still a lot of music, but I feel less.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, when I, went to go pick stuff out, I was like, wow, I haven't really been saved. Usually I keep a running list of newer music I have come across that I just want to revisit. And my list was shorter this year. I was like, did less stuff come out? And then I feel like there's a lot of releases that I was like, oh, I want to talk about this one. And I was like, nah, 2021.
Yeah. Well, you know what's odd too? You see this on the physicals of these albums. So I have bought a couple of records from 2022, but I would say at least 4 that I've encountered this year say 2021. So even though they were released in 2022, they were printed and then held for at least, they were intended to go out in 2021, or why else print it that way, right?
Yeah. Well, I feel like everybody's schedules got completely screwed up because of the vinyl plants just being very, very behind. And then I think a lot of people just had to kind of panic and then like re-decide when they were going to release stuff just to not have it get lost in the shuffle. But yeah, it's weird. I don't know. We've just been talking to some labels here and there, and they're just like, yeah, this stuff is so behind. I just don't even know what to do. We're like, okay, that's fine. Understood.
Is that weird, like planning a potential release? Like you're thinking like, am I going to put this out and then not have a physical copy for 6 or 7 months after we've been kind of promoting it?
Yep. Yeah. So we're going a different route because we pretty much knew like if we wanted to get this out, if we want to get Little O music out this year, we can't do vinyl and stuff, but that's okay. You know, it's a new frontier.
I think there's like you either like it has to come out when the release comes out, or you have to wait like 5 years and then call it a repress or something. Oh my God,
absolutely.
Right? Like you can't do like 6 months or a year later, right? Yep. Like it has to come either right away or years later.
Yeah.
But then, I mean, that's gotta affect, you know, your bottom line as a band too, right?
Right. Yeah.
When you don't have those physical copies to sell, or like, you know, it's less merch at the table too, right?
Yeah. Yeah. We're figuring out how to like exist in this, in the new kind of world of everything, and while still trying to be like, we want to be active, we want to get moving, so we're figuring it out.
How many songs do you guys have written at this moment?
We probably have like 10 written. We recorded 5 in April, so that will be coming out soon.
Nice.
Yeah.
And are there tour plans?
Nothing yet. Because at this point, we've played 2 shows. We'll probably try to start doing stuff like in the late fall, but I think we're kind of eyeing 2023 as like really get moving. Since things are, you know, just so touch and go right now. Like our bass player had COVID 2 weeks ago, so that means 10 days no practice. Then our guitarist just got COVID as of this morning. So that's 10 more days, no practice. Ugh. So it's just like everything it's too up in the air to like try to like, you know, really attach ourselves to anything. So taking it slow and seeing how things go kind of for now. But hopefully next year we can really start to like focus.
Why don't you tell us that third pick that you have?
Yeah.
You do have a third pick, right?
I sure do.
You brought a third pick tonight?
I got 3, 4, and 5.
Excellent. Excellent.
But my third pick is the song that is 100% going to be my most listened to song for this year because I just listen to it constantly. It's the first song on Audio Karate's new album, Otra. It's called Lovely Residence, and it features Emily Whitehurst, who was the singer of Tsunami Bomb. But the song is just like, it just has this like really warm and beautiful feeling. Emily's vocals just fit in there so well. And the whole album is good, as I'm curious what song you ended up picking from it, but I love this whole album. I listen to it a ton, but I just keep going back to this song and listening to it over and over again.
This album is so good.
It's so good.
Like, it's ridiculous how good it is.
And I'm not going to lie, I remember hearing about this band when I was younger, and I thought it was like some sort of math rock band because of the name.
Yeah.
Why I did that, I don't know, and therefore I just never listened to it. And then this new release came out on Iodine, which is a Boston label who, for like a lot of me and my friends, it's like a label from our formative years. So like really excited they're putting music out again. So anything they put out, I'm like, oh, I'm going to listen to this right now. And Audio Karate, I was like, oh, wow, I've really missed out on this band. Like, what a dummy.
It's funny. We've talked about that on the podcast a few times because we had a similar, the math rock thing, but we just kind of like shuffled them in as like, oh, that's that pop punk band that side one. Like they're just another, they were lost in the crowd of pop punk bands that came out at that time.
Yeah.
But going back, like their albums are actually really good and the new one's really good. Is that a train?
It is a train. You live near a
Oh,
train.
yeah. Wait, that was my train.
It is, yeah. Are you on the train currently? Like,
No.
when you say it's my train, are you conducting the train?
I'm always surprised I can hear a train from my apartment because I live near the beach, but I also live right next to Oakland. So I forget sometimes that the city's right there. And yeah, then that train happens. And I swear to God, it doesn't happen during the day. It's just nighttime and like 7 a.m. It's really loud. Sorry.
No, I was like, did Nate insert a sound effect just to make fun of me?
That's the next one that's coming. I don't have those kinds of skills, Mike. They come in post. They don't come live.
All right.
We don't do it live. Yes, it's a train, Mike, and I have nothing to do with it.
All right.
Yeah, this Audio Karate album is unreal. I thought when we were getting ready for this episode, I'm like, can a top 5 of the year, can it be a rarities album? Like, can I choose a rarities album? And because like typically rarities are kind of garbage, right? Like the production's always not great. It's not like they re-record these songs. Typically it's like, you know, we recorded these for this album, or we did scratch tracks for this album, and there's a reason that typically they're kept off of the album.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But like this album is like jam-packed. Like I'm so glad that they put this album out.
I didn't realize that it was not like a album. I didn't realize it was like a, what did you call it?
A rarities album.
A rarities album.
So this album spans their entire career. It's only 8 songs, but it spans their whole career. And it's just songs taken from different points, which leads to my next point that like, despite the fact that it's like this very disjointed collection of songs, it sounds like an album that's been put together. Like that there was thought and planning that went into how this album would be presented.
It was re-recorded though, right? I feel like it was.
100%. Like it was produced by Bill Stevenson and Trevor Keith. But nonetheless, like the songwriting, the bones of those songs, right? Like are all from different eras. So like this band is kind of an anomaly in a lot of ways because they started in 95. They went to 2005. Then they took a 13-year break, you know, needed a breather. And then they started back up in 2018 and, you know, still going now. But from what I can tell, it's all original members too.
I think so.
Yeah, which like not that common, especially for a band that takes a 13-year break in there, right? I've talked a lot about this album in previous episodes. I'm going to talk about it again because this is my third pick as well. I think it's great especially for being an 8-song record. It's something that I keep listening to over and over again. It's been something I've listened to since it came out. Just contagious melodies, super hooky, high energy, and it's got like this huge nostalgia to it, despite the fact that I've never heard any of these songs before. Mm-hmm. The last 2 songs definitely feel of a time. That time being the early 2000s when they were written. But again, like all of a sudden, this is like kind of that early 2000s sound reemerging again. But these last 2 songs totally give me like those Ataris vibes, those Saves the Day vibes, but very much like Audio Karate's own. So I chose one of the last 2 songs, and the song I chose was Do You Miss Meaning Everything to Me? Michael.
Thank you.
Did you choose Audio Karate too?
I did.
Are we just going to play we should just play the whole album. We'll just stop the podcast. We'll play the whole album and we'll say goodbye.
Okay.
Okay.
No one cares.
So sad. Such a sad okay.
Well,
all right. Tell us what you chose, Mike.
Well, now I feel like it's going to be a letdown.
Well, you're left out. That's for sure.
The band I picked was Pew Pew Pew. The album is Open Bar. So if you listen to this podcast over the past few years, you know how much I like this band. And I figured I should get some CanCon on the episode. So the first time I actually listened to the album, I was a little bit disappointed. And the more I listened to it, the more I loved the album. they've changed their sound just a little bit, where they've gotten like there's a band called New Swears. I feel like they have like a New Swears element to them now, where it's a little bit more like alt
rock and roll,
I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
But they still haven't lost what made them so great, because they have funny lyrics and they're pretty jaded, and I kind of like that kind of stuff. So, super cynical. And yeah, the song I picked was "Stick to Your Guns, Pookie."
Did you find out? You asked me a question last week.
No, we're not bringing that up. We're not bringing that up. That was a between you and me text.
Oh, okay.
Conspiracy theory.
I thought it was.
No, I'm not starting rumors. No, I'm not starting rumors that I don't have any sort of substantiated evidence.
You said it was true.
I didn't say it was true.
I have ironclad proof that this is true, and I was like, "Well, that's a bold statement, Mike." But like, I mean, you want to take it back? That's fine.
It's fine. We can talk about it off the air, off the record, Nate. Not getting pulled into your journalistic lies.
It's a web.
Yeah.
It's a web, Mike.
I keep hearing about all this fake news stuff, and you seem like you might be one of those perpetrators.
Yeah. That's me. They call me Nate Fake News Lewitt.
Yeah, that's the word on the street.
It's the word of the people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this album kind of did that for me too. The first time through was this is good. But the more I listen to it, the more I come back to it too.
It's good. It's really good. Like, and it feels very summery and stuff like that. It's just a good all around album.
Do you know what CanCon is, Christine? Have you heard that term before?
No.
Oh, see,
I don't think so.
People, because you don't have US Con. No,
everything's US Con.
Yeah, everything in the world is US Con.
Yeah.
CanCon is what we call. You have to have. Like radio stations here in Canada, you have to play a certain amount of Canadian content.
Oh.
Every hour.
Like our radio stations are regulated by law.
Wow, that's so interesting.
Right?
I did not know that.
It's to promote like art in Canada. So it's made fun of a lot, because like I think in the 80s it was very limited to what they could play.
Yeah.
Nowadays there's a little bit more, but
a lot of Anne Murray in the 80s.
A lot of Rush.
Reba McEntire.
A lot of Loverboy.
Reba, is it Mac? No, not McEntire. Rita McNeil.
Yeah, Rita McNeil. Reba McEntire's from the States.
Yeah. Sorry. See, the States is just constantly overpowering the CanCon, even right here, right now.
But now we can play Justin Bieber and Drake.
Right. We have all the big hits.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
And local heroes Nickelback.
Wait, Nickelback's Canadian?
They're from they're from a small town in Alberta, like where we're from, kind of.
Funny.
We're in the city, but they're from a small town.
It's that constant U.S. propaganda, you know, telling their people
you can have them.
Nickelback's from here. No, we claim them, Mike.
No,
we claim them.
They can have them.
Do you want them?
No.
You sure?
No.
You can.
Don't say we didn't offer.
Anyway, so you have to play so much of it, and it's just a running joke about CanCon.
It's not a joke, Mike. It's very serious. It's federal law. There's nothing funny about it.
Nate, I'm an anarchist.
Christine,
Hello.
Why don't you take us through what you chose? One more, just for the record. So we've got it on the record, Christine. Why don't you tell us what you chose for your number 3 pick?
All right, I picked Lovely Residence by Audio Karate featuring Emily Whitehurst from the album Otra.
I also selected the album Otra by the band Audio Karate, and I chose the song Do You Miss Meaning Everything to Me? Michael?
I did not choose Audio Karate, but it's a good album. Boo to me. I choose Pew Pew Pew. The album is Open Bar, and the song is Stick to Your Guns, Pookie.
When you open up why should I rest when I'm not even dead? It doesn't seem to matter what you say, you will never feel the same. It doesn't seem to matter what you do, I will fall in love with you. And every day I think we grow apart. I saw it from the start, I guess I knew that you and I won't be. It doesn't mean that I can't dream about you, think about you, still complete a part of me. I never knew I had to feel, give you anything, like the times I'd sing on the phone to you was not the easiest thing to do. No, it's true.
have you been going to more shows too, Christine?
Yeah.
Yeah, like you find yourself. Is it weird? Was the first one weird? Is it just normal now?
It's starting to feel normal. I feel like when we started going to them in the fall, I would usually halfway through be like, we got to get out of here. Like I would just start to feel nervous. And, you know, it was still at a point where it felt like everybody should have masks on, but people weren't really wearing them. Now it's gotten a little bit more lax here, and I'm getting more comfortable with just being out in general. So I've been going to more shows. I went and saw a Wilhelm Scream the other night.
Oh, nice.
At a pretty, like, not humongous venue. So it was awesome. They're always so good, but I feel like seeing them again made me feel whole for, like, as far as seeing shows and stuff. I was like, yes, especially, like, I'm in California, and this band that I love from Massachusetts is here, and that was great. So it's a good show. It was Brendan Kelly, too. You know, it's funny as ever. And Make War from New York, who was awesome. So I got to check them out more because their set was great.
Make War is really good.
Yeah.
Do you like that new Wilhelm Scream?
Oh, yeah.
Like, do you hear a difference in that record versus their other stuff?
Definitely. I mean, I feel like there's a lot of, like, kind of like the way Nuno, like, sings in this, like, softer way on some of the songs, which is cool to hear. Like, it's so different for him. But then they still have, like, the songs that are just, like, blazing through solos and backup vocals and, like, who knows what else just coming at you all the time. So I feel like it just has, like, way more dynamics than...
Yeah.
I felt it was, like, way more melodic.
Yeah.
Less techy, but the tech stuff's still there, like you said.
Yeah.
I should have went to that show here, but...
That's the story of your life, Mike.
Should have done that. Is my story of my life.
Ifs and buts were candies and nuts, Mike. But they're not. Ifs and buts are not candies and nuts.
No.
No matter how much you wish them to be, they're not.
I just have grand ideas of going out and then I get lazy.
Yeah. Well, Christine, why don't you regale us with your number 4 pick?
All right. My next pick is by Football Etc., their new album Vision. I had no idea they were putting out new music until it came out, so I was so excited. I love this band. I've just always loved their brand of emo, just kind of like droney singing, sparkly guitars, and this new album is like just what I was looking for from them. So I picked the song Vision, and yeah, it's really good overall. Great new music from them.
I'm unfamiliar with Football, etc.
Oh, you're missing out, Nate. They're very good. Yeah.
I mean, my mind immediately goes to American football.
Right.
Is that what
I assume?
They sound like? Nothing like that?
Well, I mean, they're emo. They got sparkly guitars and stuff. I assume they might have thought of that when they picked their name, but I guess I'm not really sure.
Now that you're a streamer, you could just check it out later. You could go back and hit the back catalog. You could do it all.
Not a streamer, Mike. Don't call me a streamer. I'm not a streamer.
Okay.
All right. Well, my number 4th pick is by a band called Proper. Do you know this band, Christine?
Not at all.
Mike, you know this band.
Yeah.
We've talked about Proper before. So they used to have a name. They used to go under the name Great White, and now they go under the name Proper. And the album is The Great American Novel, which is a pretty bold title, if you ask me. Came out in March. Again, like similar to Prince Daddy and the Hyena, this is another really complete, fully realized, very intentional, thought out album, which really makes it hard to pick one song, because this is one of those albums that really feels like it needs to be listened to as a whole. You know, like just picking one song doesn't really do it justice. This album is definitely pulling from the decades of emo before it, but I think gives like new voice to the genre. It's another album with like lots of movements and, like I say, thoughtfully put together. I think this is their best album to date. And there's this new kind of confidence that comes with this record. Like the other records had this like uncertainty that kind of you could hear through it. And this definitely has a confidence behind it. To the extent, like, I think they've really found their voice on this record. vocalist Eric Garlington says it's a concept album about how Black genius is ignored, contested, or just gets snuffed out before it can flourish. It's an album that's meant to be read like a book, and I think it very much does. And it follows a queer Black Holden Caulfield type coming up in the 2010s. I think there's like this really welcomed experimentation on this album too. Quiet reflection, chaotic aggression, and kind of everything in between. Lots of hills and valleys throughout this record. So if you haven't checked it out, definitely recommend checking out Proper. The song I chose, Red, White, and Blue. Michael?
Nathan?
I'd like to invite you now to share your choice with us. When we have a guest on, it's like you need this extra encouragement as we go through.
Well, I'm just thrown out of my element here. Well, now I'm really lost. Fuck.
That's okay.
Well, my next pick is a band I've spoke about a few times this year. The band is Trophy Jump, and they're a Croatian band. So it was kind of cool for me as someone who grew up being forced to listen to Croatian music as a kid to hear a band that's not traditional folk music or just some ripoff of like 80s pop rock that in a different language. So they're a pretty cool band. This album is, I think, their third album, and it's called Feels. There's some elements of like that like indie punk rock sound that's like it's not emo or pop punk. It's kind of a little bit more indie rock, but it's still got the like punk ethos to it.
Give it a name, Mike. Name it.
I don't have a genre for it yet.
Come on, Mike.
I'll never come up with something as good as cuddlecore.
You're the king of the genres.
King of it. King of making stuff up. That's
great.
It's not
king
great.
Of making stuff up. That's great. Come on, just freestyle for a minute. Really dig into it. Find a genre. Call it a genre.
Euro tracksuit core.
That's great. That's great. Let's coin it.
Euro
Let's get it. Let's
It all
put a
makes
TM
sense.
on it. Yeah.
That's my style. I just needed something to solidify my style in life. Anyway, it's a really cool album. Super solid. I think they're starting to tour a little bit and get a little bit of notice in Europe. I don't know. I just saw that they went to England last weekend, so they're not just.
Did you go?
Yeah, I just hopped on the plane.
Nice.
I didn't leave my couch to go to a show like a half hour away, but I just went to England. Anyway, the song is "Hugs on Drugs." It's a really good song, and there's a cool video for it too. And yeah, if you haven't checked them out, you should check them out.
Sick. I like that name, Hugs on Drugs.
It almost lives up to its genre's name. Almost, not quite.
I always find it
almost.
funny with like Euro bands too, because like I wonder if like some of the stuff doesn't translate as well because it wouldn't be your first language too. So there's things like that if they mean it to be funny or if not. But they don't sing anything in Croatian, so I can't tell.
I picked Football Etc's new EP Vision, and the title track Vision.
Proper with the album The Great American Novel song Red, White, and Blue, and
Trophy Jump with Hugs on Drugs off Feels.
You don't know what you know, or you don't. eyes all red. I think I haven't seen my bed in years. Closing bars, burning up all my money. Here where we come from, it's always sunny. Riding the thieves while breathing the morning. How old are you? Are you feeling lonely? Wasn't that the story you told me yesterday? Well, I guess that it kinda sucks that the only love we ever had was hugs on drugs. Well, I guess that it kinda sucks that the only love we ever had was hugs on drugs. Changers, the only way I could talk with strangers, and recently with anyone I see.
Thank you to everyone who's listened to the podcast or who contributes with a list or that's in the WhatsApp group chat. You can find us on Instagram or other sites like that, or on the website that Nathan says no one looks at, except for when we upload the episodes. And anyway, it does mean a lot that people listen and send us nice messages and all that sort of thing. Huge thank you to Christine for coming on and indulging us. Maybe one day one of your bands could make it up here.
Absolutely.
But yeah, seriously, thank you for showing up and giving us a list and dealing with Nate, specifically Nate.
What?
Mostly dealing with his mustache, right?
Do you go to websites anymore? Like, unless you're buying something from the website, do you go to a website to like look at anything?
The only websites I go to right now are restaurants trying to find their menu. That is the main websites I'm visiting, are just trying to look at food menus and finding what vegan food I can eat out here because there's so much.
So you like to go preloaded. You like to know what's on the menu. You don't like it to be a surprise.
I like doing my research beforehand. I don't want to mess up, you know? I got to know everything they have on there for options.
You're the person that as soon as you sit down and the waiter comes to the table, you're like, we're ready to order.
Kind of. I do pretend. Yeah. I pretend. I'm like, oh, thank you so much. Yeah, I'll have some water. I'll just see if anything's changed in my heart since this afternoon, but it hasn't.
Are they handing out menus still at restaurants, or did they do the QR code thing in the States too?
Yeah, it's a lot of QR codes. I'd say there's a mix, but I like that because everybody's doing the QR code now, their websites are almost always up to date with their menu.
Oh. Do you like the QR code?
It's fine. I really didn't think it was going to catch on like when it started 10 years ago, but I guess QR code should be happy that COVID happened.
Like, who owns that?
Right,
Who's got the QR code?
They're like, finally, we knew we made this for some reason.
Right. It was like Skype, and then Zoom was like,
Right,
no,
yeah.
no. You had your chance, Skype.
Yeah.
We're the new kid on the block. We're taking this through to the end. Christine, you've given us 4 albums. Do you have a 5th?
Yes.
Excellent.
It's another EP. It was hard to find full albums, but this is another EP. This is No Trigger's new EP, Acid Lord, which is a precursor to a full album that will come out later this year. I picked it because, first of all, these are like a lot of my good friends. And I got to see some of this record get made, and I just can't wait for the whole thing to come out. Because, like, the Acid Lord EP introduces a couple of the characters and a couple of the weird things that are to be expected from the album coming out. But I think it's a great precursor to what's to come. And when the album comes out, I got to work with Tom on one of the songs. So there's like a No Trigger Little Low song that will be on there that I can't wait for people to hear because it's goofy. There's a lot of skits on this album. I had to like just send recordings of me saying, "You idiot," like over and over again.
I love this album.
Yeah, there's a lot of skits, a lot of characters. There's a very deep voice you'll hear in the song. That's the Acid Lord talking.
Did you know all this, Mike? Did you know there was all this story and folklore to this album?
I didn't. I'd heard the band before. I think you had even suggested I listened to them a long time ago, and I kind of like half listened and liked it, but it never really caught on. And then this album is like so good. Yeah. And in our WhatsApp chat, like everybody was raving about it.
Oh heck yeah, that's awesome.
They were all debating. Like all the Aussie guys loved it. Hey.
Oh, yeah. Australians love No Trigger.
They're like, because there's a bunch of them in that chat, and they were all about this right away.
Nice.
So.
What are the skits about? Like,
it's not like full skits. It's just like a lot of like sound clips. Okay. But like that all fit the song that are recorded to fit the song. So
is it a story being written, or is it like a story through songs, or like you guys have a D&D connection too, right? So is it like of that ilk?
No, it is pretty much I haven't heard the whole album like as it has, in its final form, but basically the EP introduces the Acid Lord, which is the thing that is guiding No Trigger through life now. And
when you say Acid Lord, do you mean like acid, like tabs of acid, like the drug acid? Like, is acid even available anymore?
I was wondering that. Like, do people still drop acid?
I can't answer that question.
You can't answer it. Okay, so I'm gonna say yes.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's about like kind of trying to open your mind and stuff like that, but also. This anti-fantasy is about kind of trying to talk about Antifa and the fact that people seem to not understand that means anti-fascist and how important that is. Wow. And that it's just like in our towns and like hometowns and stuff like that, just seeing it run rampant is bad. It sucks to see it. And that's what the song kind of is about, but has a fun flair to it. Thanks to the Acid
Lord. The fun
Lord.
side of
Antifa. Yeah.
When you said Acid Lord, I did not think this was the path we were headed down. Wow. And so when you say it's a precursor, like this is like the intro to the greater story that's the album, or some of these songs actually appear on the album?
Yeah, the album is all different songs. So they basically recorded like, a big chunk. And so they put this EP out first, and then they have further songs for the album that will come out.
I feel like we've all shared some new things here tonight, which is really the purpose of this episode. So, Christine, I hope you're going to go and you're going to check out these records. And I'm going to go and check out these records. Christine, do you like to have fun?
Yeah.
Well, then I have an album for you. This album is by a band called Fast Eddie. Have you heard of Fast Eddie before?
I don't think so.
All right. Well, let me tell you about Fast Eddie. Fast Eddie put out a record this year called Take a Look. It came out in January. I believe this is just the second record they've released. It was funnily enough, a side project turned into a full-time project.
Nice.
For these guys. Front to back, it's just like, honestly, just a really fun record. Draws influence from classic rock, garage rock, similar like kind of styles to like Sheer Mag and like New Swears. But like even more on like kind of that 70s vibe. Like there's a good chunk of bands that have put out, that kind of play this genre that have put out albums this year, but this is my favorite of that kind of grouping. Not a serious record by any means, just something fun to put on. This is the kind of jams I really like for summer. So like you might like this for summer being such a ska hater. Like ska is another great summer record, but somebody who really like openly dislikes ska.
I don't hate ska. I will not take that stance.
It's what we heard.
I just don't play upstrokes.
It's what you said. If we could just play it back. We'll just get the producer to play it back. So this is, like I say, their follow-up to their self-titled release that came out in 2017. And the song I chose is Kill City. Michael?
All right. My last pick is a band called Tree River, and the album's Time Being. They kind of have a Save Ends kind of feel to them.
Ooh.
I don't know. Have you listened to them before or no?
No, I think I just heard about them the other day. I got to check them out.
The album's really good. It's, I think in that genre, like, because there's so many bands now that are doing that kind of stuff, it's hard to stand out. I don't know if you guys felt like that way ever, just like with so much coming out, like it's hard to like get in that niche. Mm-hmm. The song I picked was Crossroading, and it features guest vocals from Max Bemis of Say Anything.
I did hear that today. That song was so good.
Yeah,
sorry,
it's really good.
Interrupted you.
No, that's okay. I don't really like Say Anything that much.
Me either.
I did like this song a lot, and
same.
And I do like his Moon Knight comics, so I'll give him that. But anyway, it's a good guest vocal on it, so I picked that one. And check it out. Hopefully somebody likes it.
It's a great pick, Mike. I mean, I haven't heard it, but
you're going to love it.
Yeah, I'm sure I will. Actually,
in a year, you're going to be like, hey, have you ever heard this band? I'll be like, I told you about that band.
Is that the
that's the relationship we have here.
Going there? Yep.
10 years from now. It's not one, it's 10. Generally.
Yeah.
Before we go, I'd like to know where the name Little Low comes from.
It comes from being diagnosed with dysthymia, which is not major depression. It's just average depression, just like regular, just like kind of low mood. And the best way I could ever describe it was always, I just feel a little low. Like that was what I said for how I felt. So went with, took the A away, did Little Low. I also love alliteration. So yeah.
Do you have anything to plug? Do you have anything that's up and coming that we haven't talked about? I feel like we've talked about a few of the things.
Yeah, I think I covered everything, but basically, quick rundown is Save Ends will be at Fest this year. Can't wait. Little Low is on the move, and we should have an announcement very soon about releasing our EP. And got that song on the No Trigger album coming out, TBD on the date, but later this year. So, starting to like get the what's the word? The train rolling, the something
ball rolling, moving
along. I'm chugging along again, and it feels good.
How great would it be if that train just like picked up again, right? If we could have timed that just a little bit, maybe I can pull it from the original and I can put it in there. We'll see. I told you at the beginning, this was all just a magic show. So see if I can live up to that. Well, thanks for doing this, Christine.
Yeah.
It was nice having you along. Always nice to find new music as we go through the year.
Thank you so much. I'm excited I'm going to have to ask you all to, I guess I can wait till the episode comes out, but now I want to go check out everything we talked about.
Yeah, we're not going to share it with you. You have to actually listen to the album or the episode.
I picked the Acid Lord EP by No Trigger, and the song is Anti-Fantasy.
Fast Eddie, take a look. The song Kill City and
Tree River, Crossroading off Time Being. Thank you for listening. Stay cool and be excellent to each other. Make sure you check out Save Ends and check them out at Fest. And check out Little Low when it comes out.
Crumbling on the outside, stepping over trash and I can't shake it from my view. The anti-fantasy come true. What the fuck is what I screamed as I shot out of bed? The cops busted into my house to murder me for running my mouth. It's tough to keep your cool with a gun pressed to your head. Guess the bad guy side can do without an anti-Nazi Eagle Scout. Fuck you! We're just red. The anti-fantasy come true. Another life for me and you. Would you all fall asleep in history? What's the deal? Where's the mystery? No bootlickers, no swastikas. All we need is more no triggers. At least it's safe in the city. Too punk, too queer, too hippie. Take a look around. There's motherfucking Nazis all over my hometown. It used to be so cool. Now I drive around wanting to scream. Fuck you. The anti-fantasy come true. Another life for me and you. Dear acid lord, please get me through. I'm fucking scared. What if it sticks? No one here is ready for it. Alright kids, of course we're anti-fascists, cause we're the smart, handsome, good guys with a brain and a heart. But listen, we don't want a civil war. We want peace and love and record stores. We go A-N-T-I-N-A-Z-I-N-A-Z-I. And to the old man who wanted to rip my spine out of my body at the Austin, Massachusetts skinny ass because you thought I was Antifa. Fuck you, old man, I am Antifa just like my grandpa was, and you should have smashed me when he had a chance, you fucking nuts. The anti-fantasy come true. Another life for me and you. Dear acid lord, please get me through. I'm fucking scared. What if it sticks? No one here is ready for it. Crumbling on the outside, stepping over trash and I can't shake it from my view. The anti-fantasy come true. daylight bleeds, I won't fall back asleep. Crash, burn, eternity. The door's my enemy. Fuck apathy. Feel like everyone's mad at me. Had a path, but now I'm stuck, drowning in a cloud of not enough. But it seems I still dream too warmly. My fleets insane, the sound is now past our road. My clothes that they close up house me. How would if I could shoot? How would if I could? I seem to dream too loudly. I seem to dream too loudly. I seem to dream too loudly.
You're just looking at me, Nate. It's making me feel uncomfortable.
Well, I can't look at anybody else. You're the only one here.
Well, there's.
I mean, Christine's here, but it's just a C on the screen. That's
I
all it
can't
is.
see anyone. I didn't think anyone turned their thing on.
We've all been on the whole time.
Why?
How'd you think I knew
just
about
see-
Nate's mustache?
I just thought you knew it. But no, I just see a C, an N, and an M.
So
There's
when I said to you earlier, and I was like, you know, like you could take your camera off if you like.
Yeah.
I thought, well, maybe you're in, and you were like, oh, okay, cool. And then you didn't. I thought you were.
I was waiting for you all to do it.
We're on.
But it
We've been on
didn't
this whole time.
happen. Well, I'm
That's
having
so-
technical difficulties now.
That's so weird.
Yeah, I don't see anybody.
Oh. Well, then all my jokes about Nate's mustache have gone.
I can imagine the mustache.
I feel like we've got to fix this for the last bit. Like we've got to see each other for
Maybe
the last bit.
if I turn on, should I try right now?
Try
if I
it,
turn
yeah.
mine on,
Yeah,
maybe.
now we see you.
But I
see
still
you
don't
now.
see you.
Oh, and your internet just went really bad too.
Where are the faces?